Good afternoon and welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a link in the info box to join the debate live. Simply click on mute on the page you are currently watching and then click the link in the info box below this video to join the debate and express your views on the shape of the earth. There are only a couple of rules in the hangout. Number one, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected, but you will be warmly welcomed back on the next show, so please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. With that, I'm going to transition across to my photographs and encourage anybody who is currently in the live audience to share the show on Facebook, Skype and Twitter. I will also do the same. Once again, if you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. I've just finished sharing the show on Skype, Facebook and Twitter, and once again I would encourage anybody who is currently in the live audience to do the same. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to join the panel and for the time being at least express your views entirely unopposed, simply mute the page you are currently watching and click on the link in the info box below this video to join the panel live. There are only a couple of rules. Number 1, please do not swear. Number 2, if you are ejected for swearing, please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcome back on the next stream. So let's say a few shout outs to a few people who've joined us. So Validation Boy, good to see you. Flat World Takeover, hello to you too. Agent Detective, nice to see you in here. They Lie Ohio, thanks for having you here. Andre Z, pleased to see you also. And Spherical Earth, good to see you. You may not see me again if we are joined by a guest between now and maybe the next 10 minutes time. If we aren't, you'll see me for exactly the same piece of information again. And a hello to Infinite Loops as well, who got in just in the last second. Says, yo! Yo to you too. Free-minded, good to have you here. Steve Anthony, pleased to see you also. Thanks for being here. Please share the show. Good afternoon, Kyle Bryce. Thank you for being here. The gentleman's name from Texas, They Lie Ohio, is David. I can't remember his surname though, I'm really sorry. Hope that's helpful. Go back a couple of debates and you'll see his screen name and avatar on one of the debate shows. He's been in the last couple, I think, so go back a couple of episodes and you'll find him and his full name. I'll get another plug-in before we are joined by our first guest. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video with your watch page muted. So the page you are currently listening to me on now, on mute. Click on that link to join the debate and express your views on the shape of the Earth. As it stands, you would be expressing them entirely unopposed. There are still only a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. If you are ejected, you will still be warmly welcome back on the next show, so please do not try to rejoin the same show using sock accounts. You will simply be ejected again. And with that, once more, I'll say if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. AIK, good to have you here. I suppose I could read some of the chat, as there's nobody with us yet. Thanksgiving for what, says Agent Detective. Free-minded gives us a fist bump. Steve Anthony says yo yo yo. Going around like a yo-yo. Spherical Earth. What flatty is looking to get a new a-hole ripped? I think is that with asterisks. That's the plural. Infinite Bleeps, only going up and down. Flat World Takeover says, we are giving thanks for killing... I don't think I'll read that. Infinite Loop says, globe has already been ripped apart. Flatty bums intact. Lol. Everett Anderson posts a whole load of globes. I've already read They Lie Ohio's comment that, hey Nathan, what was the gentleman's name from Texas, truck driver, the other night? Says he was an interesting guy, funny in a weird way. He was. Very interesting guy. AIK says, Flat Earth, no evidence, no science, no videos, no photos, no model, no predictions, no clue. But the globe is dead. Sounds legit. Well put. Carl Bryce says, can NASA show us a live feed of the Earth half day and half night at the same time? And we've been joined by Spherical Earth, thank God. How you doing?
Hello, Spherical Earth.
Good to have you here. Did I say Spherical Earth? Curved water. My apologies.
Same thing. We're the same person.
Because I was reading Spherical Earth's comment when you jumped in. Good to have you here anyway.
Yeah.
You're always
shout
the
out
first.
to
You're
Spherical
mostly
Earth,
the
by the
first person here. I'd say about 50% of the time you're the first one in, which is good.
Well, I waited. I was in the chat, not posting, but as soon as it came on, I saw it because I was on another page, so I got the alert, came over, tried to give people time, but today's a holiday over here. It might get packed up. I had to make sure I got my seat, or I wouldn't have even joined yet.
But does the holiday mean it'll be busier, you think?
I think so. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys, this morning that aren't going to work, and will be able to come in and maybe make something exciting happen. Hopefully, some of them will be flat earthers.
Hopefully. Who are you talking about, free-minded? You say this dude is a straight-up idiot. You need some context. You need to contextualize your comments, because I've got no idea who you're talking about.
Probably me. He's probably upset with me from hangout the other night.
Oh, okay. You two have got history.
Oh, a little bit. It's just one hangout, but he tends to make a lot of ridiculous statements that he can't back up, and he misunderstands a lot of things, but still claims they're true just, because. So, I guess we didn't get along very well.
That's a shame.
But I'm the idiot because he thinks water looks like a motorcycle ramp from the side. Like if you're looking across a lake at a long distance at buildings, you think, hey, Free-Minded's here.
We've been joined by Free-Minded. Good to have you. Thank you for being here.
What's up, Free?
I think he's just sorting his mic out and such. He's on mute at the moment, so we'll hopefully hear something from Free-Minded, and when he does, I'll open up his microphone.
Hopefully he's getting his water ramp video ready.
Can you say a quick hello, Free-Minded,
Hello?
just so I can level your mic? Oh, perfect. Sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right. Got a little echo going on. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I should really say that. I might I might incorporate that into my intro, which is to say that when you first join a hangout, it often causes feedback for the person joining and sometimes for others, but it just goes away after a few seconds.
You still have the echo, Free?
Hello?
Yeah. Do you still have it?
Yeah, I still got it, man. What the hell?
Mute
Do I
your
need to
watch
mute
page.
something?
Mute your page
Maybe
that you joined from, the page that you were watching us on. Mute that.
Okay, now okay. Before when I did it, I couldn't hear anything like it. Can y'all still hear me? Fuck, now I can't hear y'all. Hold on.
Yeah, we hear you. The audience hears you. Everything's good in the hangout. I think it's just your watch page that needs muting.
Okay. Curd Water, what's up, man?
Nothing. Just, sitting around straight up idioting and stuff.
Cool.
So you got that water ramp picture? That was off air when you brought that on, right? You want to show everybody what you bring to the table here?
Yeah, hold on, man. This is crazy. This echo is going crazy, man. Hold on. I have to fix this. Hold on.
I wish I could help you, but I'm pretty stupid. apparently.
Well, gentlemen, how about that flat earth then, eh?
Hello?
Hello.
All right, now we're good. Now we are good.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Now, what you were saying, curd water?
Wondering if you wanted to show that water ramp of yours and let people take a look
Oh, you
at
talking
your
about
idea.
the one where you talking about I was trying to explain perspective to you.
Yeah, okay. We'll
And
go with
you,
that. Is that what you're
yeah,
trying to do?
that's what I was. Yes, that's what I was trying to do, but it wasn't working out too well.
Hey, I'm wondering, why do you feel like you need to explain perspective to me when what you're demonstrating shows that you don't know what perspective is?
Now, can you tell me what perspective is, since you know about it?
Yeah,
I think I do,
basically,
but
what we're talking about here, you guys are always using it in the context of like how it's used in drawing, how, lines of sight, lines of perspective, um, converge at like your vanishing point at the horizon.
the false horizon. Yeah,
Mostly it's about how to draw things so that they look more realistic. But of course, it's based on reality. Things do get smaller as they go away. Lines of, these lines of perspective, they do not cross the horizon. They This is an apparent convergence. These are actually straight lines, parallel, and all that kind of stuff, but they do appear to because of the fact that things shrink the farther they are away from you, or they appear to in your field of vision. Their angular diameter decreases. Now,
right.
you guys try to use it to say you think that the ground literally like ramps up a flat, imagine a flat bowling alley, a lane that just goes on and on and on for miles flat in your
Yeah,
field of vision. Yeah, that's going to appear to rise if you use an instrument like the auto level and look off into the distance through the scope. um, you'll see that it's not level with you. The scope is above that flat bowling lane and level from there across a truly flat bowling lane, not something that's curving with the earth, but something that's straight, horizontal, flat. It's still, your line of sight's still going to be, your level line of sight's going to be above that. This is
I
an
guess
appearance thing. This is
I'm trying
just
to I'm trying
about
to explain it. I don't know. It's like you guys don't understand the false horizon. Because if you take
false
your
horizon.
same example, hold on, take your same example, and would you say the bowling lanes about what 100, say like 100 yards or whatever, and you got the bowling pins at one end. If you put your head on the ground, you're not going to be able to see the bottom of those bowling pins. It's going to
Because
appear to be a false horizon right there.
can you
That's what I was
demonstrate
trying to
that?
explain.
Can you demonstrate that? You're claiming it. Can you demonstrate it?
Yeah, because that's the law of perspective. It always happens. I
No,
guess you
that's
just don't
not the
notice it.
law of perspective.
It does.
No. No, there's
It
nothing
is, and
about
that's
the
what it does.
lane. No, you then show me the law of perspective where it says that.
Okay, well, I mean, you can look for yourself. Yeah, I mean, this is something
You can back
this is
up your
something
own
you can.
claims if you don't mind.
Oh, I can show. I mean, have you ever heard of My Perspective? Have you ever seen
Yeah,
any of his videos?
right. Yeah, of course. He's a well-known YouTube authority. Yes, of
Brilliant.
course.
Yeah. I
Go ahead
mean,
and
that
appeal
shit.
to him.
No, I'm just saying his videos explain and illustrate what I'm trying to tell you.
Do they do so
And he does
correctly?
it a lot better than I can.
Do they do so
Just talking to you.
correctly? Or does he have a con going on? See, I remember you talking about a table and how
Mm-hmm.
the flat table is going to block your view of something as it moves away on the table. You're talking about what, a 6-8 foot long table, 10 foot long table?
Well,
And then
let's
you
say
were,
100. Let's say 100-foot table.
okay. And then you were given a photograph of a 300-foot distance to something that did not do what you claimed the table would do. And what did you do? You moved the goalposts and said, "We'll go back 600 feet." Why should you have to go back 600 feet? 300 feet is more than your 100 feet already. Do you see the problem?
Yeah. The problem is when you do an experiment, you don't just take one picture. You
The
take
problem is you're
you take plenty
dishonest
of
there.
pictures, something to compare it to, so you can see did the view change or did it not change? How you gonna take one picture and just say that is? I guess that's what it is. You got to show how perspective works, backing up, or either he could have went lower, even if he wanted to, maybe put it flat on the floor, and I guarantee you he will see a different perspective when
You,
he does that.
yeah, you could say all kinds of things, but the problem here is you're claiming something happens at 100 feet, and that's enough for the effect. But then when you were given 300 feet, that wasn't enough. You needed to go farther. If you need to go farther than 300 feet to 600, then what
I
makes
mean,
your 100-foot valid?
really,
And it's not to begin with. You can't even
listen.
demonstrate it. You can't demonstrate what
I wasn't.
happens when you say
We
100 feet.
really wasn't being really specific on. I just kind of was throwing that out there. I wasn't. I was just trying to get the idea of what I was trying to get across.
All
I don't
right.
know about
Well,
the
be
complete length you
Pacific.
need to be, but you get the idea.
Oh, I
You
get the
understand?
idea.
The further you
But
go
if you're
back,
going to be
if
Atlantic
you're looking
about
at something off
everything
in the
instead of
distance,
being Pacific, then we're not going to get anywhere. So try to be Pacific. No
so
more
you're
Atlantic.
saying. So here's what you're saying. I said specific. Here's what you're saying. You're saying if I look at something that's what, let's say 50 feet away on a totally flat surface, and then I back up about 300 feet, it's gonna look the same.
Is it going to look the same?
I'm gonna be able to see the same thing I would at 50 feet as 300 or 400 feet.
Well, it's going to appear different
My perspective is
because
not going to change.
things are
My
smaller.
false horizon is not going to change.
Well, what false horizon? What false horizon are we speaking of here?
How do you claim to know about perspective and you don't know what a false horizon is?
I want to know what false horizon you're claiming here and
The
why.
false horizon due to perspective. You always have a false horizon. If you can see far enough, it's going to be a
Citation?
false horizon.
Citation. What do you mean by false horizon? As opposed to an actual physical permanent horizon?
The horizon due to your perspective. And that's
Which
what you
one-
guys are mistaken for
Why is
curvature.
that false? Why are you using the word false here with horizon?
Because it's not the real horizon.
What is the real
A false
horizon?
horizon.
What is the
Like if
real horizon? If you're going to make a distinction, what is a real horizon?
What is a real horizon?
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty good question.
Well, of course
But
it is.
I do know what a false horizon. Like if me and you are looking at something,
how can there be a false horizon if there's not a
listen,
real horizon?
me and
as
you
well?
are looking at something, we're both going to have different horizons. Especially if we are like if I'm 6'2" and say if you're 5 foot nothing, your horizon's not going to be the same as mine.
Why not?
Because we're both looking at false horizons due to our perspective. Now, real horizon, I'd admit, I never really heard real. I guess that would be something blocking your view. I guess that would be something physical that's really blocking your view. I guess that could be a horizon. But
so you don't know what a horizon is?
That's my guess right there. I guess it's a physical horizon would be, I guess it would be something that's really blocking your view physically, not due to perspective, but something that's actually blocking your view. I would have to look that up though, but I do know in perspective, your fake horizon, false horizon is just how far you can see due to perspective.
Okay. So you don't know what a real horizon is. You don't know what a false horizon is, but you know all about perspective and what perspective has to say about a false horizon.
But you didn't even know what a false horizon was, so teach me real horizon.
I still don't know what a false horizon is. Not the way you're using the term anyway, to be sure.
Well, Google false horizon.
Neither do you. You can't tell us. You're the one using the term.
Listen,
I'm not doing
I gotta tell you again
for you.
I gotta tell you again. The false horizon is how far you can see due to your perspective.
What's false about it? And
because it's how your eyes are working. It's how your eyes are working.
What governs the distance to the horizon?
It depends on, well, it's a lot of factors, but I would guess mainly your height, weather conditions.
And?
I said it's a lot of stuff, but it would be like weather conditions or your height. What kind of vision you have, 20/20, a lot of things go into it.
How about terrain?
Yeah, that too. Like that goes with a lot of things.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Okay.
So that's why
I thought you didn't know. I thought you didn't know what a false horizon was, though. But now you explain.
I still don't know what a false horizon is because you're using a term that's undefined here.
Well, go ahead and Google it.
No, you explain. You're the one that's basically making it up.
Why are you calling it a false horizon? You've never heard false horizon in your life.
I've heard it from a lot of stupid people. Spurs Chemo, for example. Spurs Chemo is baffled by the simplest things. And you're using something that Spurs Chemo uses. Lack of understanding.
I mean, this is something that flat earthers, ballers use it. This is not even a flat earth term, bro.
Then why can't you explain
you don't understand it?
Why can't you explain how
maybe you just, I don't think your brain, I don't know. You just not understanding what I'm saying.
Ad hom isn't going to get anywhere here. You're struggling. You're looking very silly and weak, dude.
You're not fooling nobody.
Why don't you?
You're not fooling nobody.
Anybody.
You sound
I'm being
like a stupid person trying to sound smart, man. You're not fooling anybody.
And you're the one using terms that you can't even explain.
You can spin this. This is your goal, though, to spin everything in a circle. And
I'm not spinning anything. I'm asking you to clarify the term as you're using it.
That's what it sounds like. So it's kind of like you being intellectually dishonest. And it's very obvious. And I'm pretty sure the audience knows it. You're not fooling anybody.
I bet the audience sees right through you.
I'm just trying to figure out if you're an agent or if you just really.
There we go. The show card already. Oh my God. Wow, why is it you guys can't argue the facts? You always got to go to agent.
Nah, the way you guys act doesn't make any sense.
Hey, dude,
man.
let's
It really
assume
doesn't.
for a minute. Assume I am an agent. Okay, let's say somehow I could get
I've
a
done
job
that.
being an agent. All right. Let's say I could get a job being an agent, and now I'm an agent. All right. What does that have to do with the factuality of what I am saying?
Because what you're saying is a whole bunch of bullshit. All you
That-
trying to do,
No,
all you are
that
trying to
has
do
nothing
is
to do with
spin
whether
this
I'm an
conversation
agent
in
or
a
not,
circle.
does it?
I didn't
You
say
are
you was or not.
logically disconnected
say
from
it.
reality.
You're doing it again.
You're disconnected from reality here. Listen to you. You're a mess.
You need to get
can't
fired
make
if
a
you was
good
an agent.
point.
You're a very bad one if you was, because
You
I think you
cannot.
guys really, hey, you guys really pull more people to FE than flat earthers do when they listen to you, because you sound ridiculous.
Well, either way, there's still nobody in FE to speak of. There's nothing to it. It's a lie. It fools the gullible.
Water, explain the 3-body problem.
Why don't we talk about the shape of the earth?
Well, doesn't gravity have to do with the shape of the earth? That's a part of y'all model, right? Gravity.
I don't give
So
a shit. I really don't.
I want you to explain to me the moon moving around the earth, and then the moon and the earth moving around the sun. Explain that to me.
I'm talking about the shape of the earth. What if I'm a Jew?
Didn't I hear you say you was in the math at one point in time? So mathematically explain that to me, because NASA can't do it.
But
No,
before you do, sorry to interrupt, can we just say a quick hello to our new guest? We are joined by Adam, otherwise known as A4. Very pleased to have you here.
A4, what's up?
Howdy, everyone. Am I on mute? Am I muted?
No, we hear you.
Ah, sweet. Howdy, Nathan. Howdy, Free. What's your name? Free something.
Free-minded.
Free mind. And fuck you, Curves Water. Oh, sorry about the swear word. Sorry. F
Yeah,
you.
please don't swear. You'll get ejected real quick.
Sorry. I apologized. I take it back. It's just that I'm Australian. It's second language.
Can you explain the false horizon, Adam? What is this guy talking about when he says false horizon? And how does it distinguish?
I did about 4 times.
It'd be like the vanishing point, something that you can't see beyond, and then when you use optics that let you see beyond it.
The horizon is a point?
A point. The horizon is a point. Yeah,
the horizon is a point. Okay.
Point of distance from yourself.
I've never seen the horizon as a point. What are we talking about here?
It's a point, a distance away from you. A point away from you.
But it's not a point.
What do you mean it's not a point?
The horizon is not a point. Like the vanishing point that you refer to would be like a
place,
point.
Conceptually,
it's a point.
A distance.
But it's not a point.
Pardon?
It would be more like a line, no? Straight line, wavy line, whatever. But the horizon would be like a line. It's more one-dimensional as opposed to a point, which would be like zero-dimensional.
Okay, yeah, I guess I can comprehend.
So now that the horizon is not a vanishing
point, it's a
how do you distinguish real horizon from false horizon? What is he referring to here? Can you help somebody understand what Free is saying?
Well, it would be like you said. Well, I can't use the word point now because you're saying it's a line that would look like the horizon that is either before the horizon. Well, usually it would be before the actual horizon. So it's a false horizon. So it's a point that is before the actual horizon.
And what determines where each of these two different horizons are in your view?
Your limited sight. The fact that we have limited sight, so that would be
limited sight. All right, it's limited to. So because you can't see
Yeah.
beyond the real horizon as far as the ground goes, that means that there's also, for some unknown reason, there's also a false horizon closer to you than your apparent horizon. There's also a false horizon for some reason closer to you. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it wouldn't be for some. Well, there is a reason. It's not for some reason. There is a reason. It's usually perspective, atmospheric conditions. There's a lot of other things.
Okay, can you show me in perspective? What is perspective? How does perspective give you a false horizon closer to you than the natural apparent horizon?
Well, depending on where you stand, depending on your location and the horizon's location would depend on if you see a false horizon.
And what does this false
Can't give you-
horizon look like?
No.
Because the horizon is where it appears like the ground and the sky meet.
I'm not with
the
you.
earth and sky meet.
What?
So the horizon, the apparent horizon, is where the sky and the earth appear to meet. That's basically your horizon.
Yeah. Appear to meet, yeah.
Okay. So what causes this false horizon to also be in your view nearer to you than your natural apparent horizon?
Well, that'd be atmospheric conditions, obstructions, the fact that you have limited
Can you
range.
see both at the same time?
Beg your pardon?
Can you see both at the same time? Do you see the false horizon that's nearer to you at the same time that you see?
Might be able to find you might be able to find conditions where you could see both, or you could perceive both.
Might be able to. Are we guessing at all of this?
I can't tell you what you could perceive. Like, I could go out there and then be able to understand that that's a false horizon that I'm seeing, and that the real horizon would be just beyond that. But I'm not too sure if you're that unbiased that you could actually comprehend something like that.
Right. And so, in other words, you can't explain what you're trying to say. You can't explain what he's trying to say. So you attack me.
I'm not attacking you. I come in and
you just did. Yeah. That was very passive aggressive.
That was nothing to do with. That was nothing to do with his argument. That's just because I know that you like to smoke male genitalia, and that was just.
Well, that's a fantastic argumentation there.
What, man? You expect me to take you seriously when you've been on every single flat Earth show spewing the same garbage? It's like you would have had this argument with somebody else probably more than 50 times now. So, like, can't you get?
Well, you don't get
what
it.
They're put across? Can't you comprehend what they're trying to put? I don't expect you to stand under. I don't expect you to understand or stand under what these people say to you. But can't you comprehend what they're trying to say?
Yeah, a bunch of garbage. They're lying.
They're lying. So if they believe it as truth, is it a lie?
If they believed it, they should have a reason to believe it, and they should be able to
explain it. You believe in the
it.
ball Earth, so what's your reason for believing in the ball Earth?
All my observations. Now, what about
they could use the same argument. They could use the same argument against you. Is all their observations.
We could talk about the observations and the differences and the reasons why theirs are bunk.
Well, you're not comprehending what they're trying to say to you. They say that they can see something different than what you see.
Comprehend? No, I don't buy it. I don't agree with it.
You don't understand.
I can see that it's wrong.
Okay. And to answer your question,
everything you guys have said so far has been a load of nonsense.
Per water, the real horizon is infinity. That is the answer to your question.
You guys out there hear that? The real horizon is infinity. You guys get that?
If you could see, if you could see forever, there would never be a horizon. But it blocks. You cannot see forever, so your perspective makes a false horizon. That is the answer to your question.
No, it's not. You made up some nonsense.
Okay. Google it.
I don't see where you're trying to go with this, Curve Water. So he believes that the horizon is infinity. That's his belief. So
Curve Water believes
how
that.
does it hurt your existence if he
Excuse
believes
me.
that the
Curve Water believes that if the Earth was flat, you could see forever.
no? Well, that's just
You're the one
That's what Curve
claiming
Water believes.
it's
anyway.
infinity.
That's a
You
bunk
get
argument.
that?
It
You're
is.
claiming the horizon is infinity.
It
That's
is.
been
Your
said by
a real horizon. Yeah.
The problem is
On a flat surface, it would be forever.
on a flat surface. It would be the limit of your
Until you hit a
vision
wall or whatever,
according to angular diameter of any objects that you're trying to see in the distance.
That's why I said if you could see forever, your horizon would be infinite. That would be your horizon, but we all see a false horizon. Now you take the false horizon for the curvature of the Earth.
Oh well, yeah, that's due to your limited sight. And
Exactly.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. We've been joined by new guest Kyle Byrne. Pleased to have you here, Kyle. Could you say a quick hello?
So
trying to figure out how to mute.
Are you trying to say, Curved, that if the Earth is flat, you should be able to see, like from Australia, I should be able to see America? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
But me being in Australia, even on this ball Earth, like let's put this into perspective. I'm on the ball Earth with you. I'll jump back on the ball Earth, and me being in Australia. On one side of Australia, it's still the vast distance that goes across, even without curvature, all right, even without your curvature involved, the distance to the other side of Australia is too far for me to see. So what would be the difference from me being on a ball to a flat plane? What's the difference? I still can't.
That's the thing. This is not a flat Earth term. This is just actually a globe science, pretty much. I mean, it's
give us some flat Earth science. Give us some flat Earth science, and what's the basis for a flat Earth term?
Let him try and answer that. So me being on one side of Australia, I wouldn't even need to use the whole of Australia. I'd only need to use to say from under. What's the distance in which curvature should be applied after that distance?
But before you do, can I just say a quick hello to P Mars? We're joined by P Mars. Thank you for being here.
So how many miles until I see curvature? So how many miles would I have to?
How much curvature, Adam? How much curvature is dependent upon how far you're looking, the distance.
Enough to obstruct a building, so then it's out of my range of sight.
How tall is the building?
Let's say.
You see what has to happen here?
Average height of a building, then. Average height.
Which is?
No, you tell me.
No, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to tell me what it is that you're looking for here. This is ridiculous.
Hold on, I'm about to get the answer for you. Hold on.
The average height of a building.
Go ahead, though.
You're going to get the average height of a building. You're going to Google that.
I'm just trying to put a question across to you. So, like, I can't see from Sydney. I can't see Brisbane. I can't see Canberra. I can't see, like, I don't know if you know the locations that I'm talking about at all, so it might be irrelevant to you, but I can't see into another state of Australia. So why should I expect to see to America? And that's not because of a curvature. That's just because of atmospheric conditions, because of, like, this guy's trying to put across to you a false horizon. Once I walk to that point on the horizon that I can see again that same distance that I originally had. I can see that far again. So I have to continually walk to where the horizon is to then get that same amount of distance of sight. So what on the ball Earth, like in your theory, I should be able to see like unlimited, but that's just not how it works.
In my theory,
sight is like we don't have superhuman sight.
Adam, that is a pile of garbage.
What do you mean? I don't have.
Good comeback.
In my theory, which is our knowledge of the shape of the Earth, the reason you can't see these buildings if they're far enough away is due to the curvature, dude. What are you talking about?
No, that's bunk.
No,
That's bunk.
it's not bunk,
that's
and this
funny.
can be demonstrated.
That's
Where?
bunk.
Look, man.
Mate.
Okay,
Soundly?
what's wrong
Soundly?
with sound? What's wrong with sound?
That's
Oh,
mate bunk.
man.
Because even if we're on a gigantic ball, my perspective would only let me have limited sight.
No, you're limiting your own sight by the way that you think.
Wow.
You don't understand what you're doing,
The
what
way
you're
I
looking
think
at.
somehow limits my sight. So even if I was to use binoculars, those binoculars only have a limited sight. But because you say I have a bias, that somehow it's going to lessen my viewing range less than you because you are unbiased apparently.
I'm sorry
No,
to
I'm
interrupt both of
talking
you.
about-
Please, sorry, Curve. Can I just
Or you
tell?
have a different belief than me.
Sorry, I'm really sorry. I just want to tell one of our guests, because I've muted him now. I keep forgetting what his name is. What is his name? Bear with me. Sorry,
Carl
guys.
Bryce.
Yeah, Kyle.
I think his name was
I've
Nathan
muted you,
Oakley.
Kyle. I just need to let you know, if you're on a PC or a Mac, you need to wave your mouse over the Hangout page to bring up a row of icons on the top with a mute button. If you're on a phone, just tap the screen and it will bring up a mute button to unmute so you can join back in with a conversation. But just to get rid of your background noise, I muted you.
Background noise?
Yeah, just try and go on mute if you're not talking, though, so just tap it again to mute if you're not going to talk.
It's like static on your mic.
Like the argument that you're trying to put across, Curved, is so bunk. Like I've heard this all before, and it's all you try to say that the point in which I'm looking where I can see a horizon is the point of a curvature. And even your own scientists, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who isn't a real scientist, and whoever else you wanted to name, they will disagree with you. They will say, no, that's just like this guy's trying to say, a false horizon. That's just a point in which your sight is limited to. You might be able to get
Your
optics
sight
that can
is
make
not
you
limited to your horizon. You
I
do
think a
understand
sixth grader
that.
would disagree with you.
Your sight is not limited by the horizon. Okay, you can see beyond the horizon.
If you get
cannot
something that can
see
help.
the surface of the earth beyond the horizon, but you can view buildings in the distance well beyond the horizon. You can see that far, whether you need a camera or a scope or binoculars or not. You
It's
can
impossible.
see beyond
It's
the
impossible.
horizon if you're impossible.
You're seeing two. That's what I was trying to explain before. You're seeing two different points of the horizon. Then
No, you're not. The
you are.
building,
You're seeing one where the sky meets.
Hey, do I got background noise now?
You're seeing one where the
it's better.
sky hits the ground, and that's
Better?
due to
Okay.
atmospheric conditions and whatnot. And then you're seeing the buildings, and like the height of usually the bottom of them would seem obstructed, and you're seeing them in the distance beyond the point of your first horizon. You're seeing these buildings because they have less obstruction, less atmospheric conditions obstructing their view. Like the closer to the ground, the more atmospheric conditions would obstruct your view.
Then
Things
why
get
can
smaller.
you see
Things
the
get
building?
smaller as they approach your horizon and they disappear. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Do you
all
agree
of
with that?
this.
As things are farther in the distance, they get smaller, correct?
Of course they appear to.
Okay. So you can't see anything past your false horizon.
You can't see anything past our eyes is going to allow us to see anyway. All the cameras and stuff discredits it. No lens sees like our eye. No lens will see like the human eye. That's really at the end of the story. Any kind of lens that could see better than or further than the human eye, that's falsifying our perspection.
Okay.
So it's what we're made to see with.
Why don't you guys take a look at my screen here?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody
All
can
right,
see it. Can you present me? Nathan, so that it'll stay up and we can talk about this?
Yeah,
for
no
a minute?
worries.
Thanks.
So I can
What are
see
you,
the
what are you
picture.
doing to that kid, Nathan?
I can see building as a
Sorry.
point, as a distant horizon. The first point where you can see the line is what you're going to what I would call the first horizon line, and then the second is the second horizon line, which would be the buildings in the distance.
You're talking about this line here, the water.
Yeah, and there, yeah,
The line of the
all
water.
right.
That's like what we call the horizon
Water,
there. Okay.
water is the point of obstruction. The waves
Exactly.
over distance. All right, and then other conditions too, due to the swells and the salt water interacting with the atmosphere around it and whatnot. That helps it to
Oh my God.
obstruct your view.
Notice how the buildings angles never change. The
Why
angle of the
should they?
buildings are not changed.
Why should they? Why should
Because
they?
they're on a ball, right?
How much? How much,
Ball.
dude? How far away is
So
the
you're saying
building?
there's just a huge lump in between the cameraman and those buildings. It's just a huge lump of water. That's what you're trying to say.
No, it's not a lump. Not what you're.
It should be a huge lump of both ways. Then a huge lump in front of the camera and on the horizon.
In front of the camera.
There's a huge lump of water in between you and those
Lord.
buildings. That's what you're saying.
Oh God.
Why can't you
count? Building angle never changes. Look at those buildings. The angle is not changed.
Really? Why are you taking this low level?
Wait, are you trying to say that this water is flat, completely flat, without any? It's not adding any obstruction to these buildings over distance?
Of course, it's adding obstruction. The water is obstructing because the ground where the buildings are is much lower in your level line of sight.
But the building angle doesn't change.
That? How much should it change, Free?
At least a little bit. It doesn't change at all.
How much is a little bit? Be a little sharper than that, please.
Well, think about this.
How much should it change? What is the distance?
If the curve is right there.
You don't even know the distance, and you're trying to tell me it should be like all leaned over. You don't even know the distance, and you're just making statements out of ignorance anyway.
Listen, if that's the curvature right there, then it has to correlate with the angle to the buildings curving away.
What should the angle of the building be? What correlation?
All I'm looking at is this is a huge curve. If it was a curve, it'd be a huge curve, right?
You don't know, do you?
It would be a huge curve, right?
How much is the angle that you're expecting? Come on, spit it out.
It would have to correlate with the huge curvature I'm seeing if that's what that is.
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
It would correlate.
What he's trying to say is that's enough distance to see a curve, and you're not seeing a curve.
Thank you.
That's what he's trying to say.
You're not looking.
And you're acting like you don't understand that. You're acting like you're not understanding that. Like these videos have been over like plenty of times with the same little distance in the mirage, and there's no curve. You know, any camera, any telescope discredits our original perception, and that's what our two eyes see.
No,
what he's trying to do.
If the Earth is flat, where's the bottom multiple?
Why do you think our two eyes see a flat horizon in the distance? We don't see a curve with our natural eyes. Nowhere.
Why are you expecting it to curve? You guys are all over the place. And I'm sure that's
I'm talking about the shape of the Earth. I'm talking about the shape of this Earth, man. Right? Nobody has never seen the shape of the Earth or day and night at the same time from a distance.
All over the place.
Can I just for my own benefit, can I just clarify what is it? I keep forgetting your name. I'm sorry. Is it Ryan? Carl? Is it?
Yeah, it's Carl.
Are you trying to say that if Curved proposes that there is a curve of water that we see between us and these buildings, that same curve should be seen on the buildings themselves, as they are obviously on the other end of that curve? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying that distance, whatever that view is, it should be. See, that's the thing. I don't know how that picture was taken or whatever. I just know that's not the human's retinas in that picture. So this is why I'm trying to argue the point that whatever camera or telescope or binoculars is going to discredit the original perception from our eyes. So I don't know, like when it comes to pictures and stuff, you really can't go off of that. You have to go off of what you can go outside. And if you can see a curve with your eye, then that's what it is. I was just on the plane and I couldn't see no curve nowhere. And I'm just like, so, I just want to understand why where's the curve that everybody sees that I it's too big to see and we too close to see and we too far to see. Like, You know,
Yeah.
I asked a
Nathan,
little question earlier. How come nobody can't show us a picture of the Earth showing the night and the day and the edge of night and the day at the same time?
I don't have a spaceship.
It doesn't have to be a spaceship. I mean, this is what you believe. You believe the globe, and
Where,
this is
where,
what it would be on the globe.
where do you expect to get this shot from?
Where you expect to get the belief from that you believe in?
No,
You
no,
can
no.
s-
I asked you a specific question. If you can't answer it, just say so.
You can see
The
that
shot.
on
Where
the
do I
moon.
expect to get the shot from?
Yeah.
I think it was hidden
I
towards
know we
NASA.
can't get the shot. That's the thing. We can't get the shot. We're not gonna get the shot.
Okay.
For
Thanks
thousands of years, we haven't got that shot.
Thanks for
So I'm
playing.
just being honest. We can't get
No,
the
you're
shot.
not being honest. You're being the absolute opposite of
Well,
honest.
how come
right
we
now.
don't? How come we don't have the shot then? Where's the shot?
Where do you expect to get the shot from?
The same people who's making you believe that it's a globe spinning around and it's
NASA.
a
I don't
whole
give a
thing.
shit
That's
about NASA. I don't give a shit about NASA.
all right. So then forget NASA. So then how do you know that we're on a spinning globe then?
We're talking about it, and I
Due to
really
the
don't
So how
care
do
census.
about
you
the
know
state.
that? But how do you know that though? But how do
This
you know?
this is a
Because you
debate
don't think that
about flat
you don't
Earth.
think.
Flat Earth. Do you understand that?
Okay.
This is not
Exactly.
geocentric versus heliocentric. This has
Why don't
nothing
you
to
answer
do
the
with
question?
rotation.
That's
Because
what I'm
I'm
saying. They don't
trying
like
to
to
stay
answer the
on,
question about that.
I'm
They
trying to
don't
stay
like
on
to.
I know.
topic.
I want to pin them down to some. Answer the
I'm
question.
You
trying to
don't like to
stay
answer those
on
questions.
topic, something you guys avoid.
Man, you
All right, I want
moonwalking
to
like
listen. I'm
Michael
gonna listen.
Jackson.
I'm gonna hear. I'm gonna listen. I want to hear what you got to say.
I want to know where you expect to get this shot from. Your day-night thing. Where do you expect to get that from?
All right, I expect to get the shot from the same people that led me to believe that the Earth
Well,
has
then you can
been a
write them a
ball.
letter. You write NASA a
Okay,
letter.
fine. I can let them a letter, right? But I'm saying that this is the thing that you going off of. Like you're not going off of a flat Earth, or maybe you're not be going off a globe, or maybe you're just here to see both what everybody got to say. But you have to obviously know that we on something. So what is your input about it? Are we
I'm
on the
sure.
spinning disc, or are we on the spherical ball, spinning? What do you think? Or are we on like a rock that's lumpy, or a valley? Is the place like a valley? What do you think about it, and why do you think?
We're on a globe. It's pretty much a sphere, very slightly oblate. Now,
So why do you think that?
in
That was
this,
the second part of the question.
because in this image right here, you have multiple hundreds of feet of the city's, the building over there in Toronto that you cannot see. You cannot zoom in on it and bring it back. It's just impossible.
All right, hold on.
Why is that?
I'm about to share my
Why
screen,
is
and I'll
that?
show you something. I'll show you where you can though.
Why is a level plane obstructing multiple hundreds of feet of the city? Why is the majority of the skyline not visible here?
I got your
It's
answer.
the
Hold
same
on.
reason why. It's the same
Don't.
reason why when we see those footages from space that we all been seeing. The
How
same
many
reason why we
times are
don't
you
see the
guys
whole
gonna keep?
the whole circumference or diameter of the Earth.
Why are
The
you
same
riding that
reason.
dead horse, man? That's absurd. What up, P?
Well, because I really the way how I look at it is that I rather believe otherwise than believe something that can't even be proven to me 100%.
Oh, the flat Earth
Like
is proven to you 100%.
You didn't hear what I said. I rather believe in otherwise than rather believe in something that's not been proven 100%. Okay.
What do you
So
believe
right
in
now,
something that's not proven?
no, listen. How do you know what I believe in?
Are you
I
a
didn't even
flat
tell you
earther?
how I believe. I didn't even tell you what my input on how I think what we live on. I didn't even say
Okay.
that. I've been asking
All right.
you.
You're not a
But
flat
can
earther.
I think
Hey,
if
Kurt, hold
you
on.
ask me
I'm sharing my screen.
if you ask me, it could be we could be on like a giant freaking like a water world, and our continents is just hanging out like floating through the space on a water world. That's if you ask me.
Makes
Kurt
sense.
Water,
Ain't nobody been
can
to
y'all
the
see my
bottom
screen?
and nobody been to the top. So
Sounds good, Carl. Thanks for your input.
so curved water. So are you saying, like, you're asking the question, why can't I or yourself or anybody see the buildings that are further than the ones that you currently showed? Is that what you're
Hey,
asking?
Hey, hold
I'm
on.
asking why you
I'm-
can't see the bottom of the buildings that you can see the tops of. The buildings are not too
I'm
far
trying
away
to
to
share my
see.
screen. I got the
Sorry,
answer for you.
before you do,
Look at my
Free,
screen.
can you make
Look
that
at my
full
screen.
screen, please? Can you make it full screen? Can you hear me? Can you just make that full screen? I've got you displayed. No one can see it because it's too small. So if you can expand that out to make it full screen, please, Free. That's perfect. Thank you very much. We've also been joined by, is it Sleeping Warrior? How you doing? Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Okay, Curve Water. Do you see the screen?
Sure.
Now, what's the difference between your picture and mine? And it's night and daytime, so you can say refraction and all that bullshit, but it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, Nathan.
Right? And then they got low tides and high tides, all of that kind of stuff. You can't take pictures, man. That stuff, all of that stuff is just pictures, man.
How is this possible?
Free. I'm not seeing your screen at the moment.
You're not seeing it?
I'm not sure. Oh, I know why. There.
How do you explain low tides and high tides on a ball Earth, you know?
How do you explain it on a flat Earth?
Don't let them get away from this. Explain this picture I'm showing you.
Absolutely, I agree.
Quit bringing up.
Quit
bringing up other stuff. No, the question is not, Riley.
No, the question is.
I mean, the only real question I wanted him to answer, he didn't answer. That's all I know.
Carl, you're right, man.
The only question I wanted him to answer is he didn't want me to answer.
Hey, Carl, when he does give his answer, ask him, did he know about this footage before? Because he made the claim that you couldn't see the bottom of the buildings, but it's evidently possible that you can. So ask him, once he's explained
Riley,
Hold on, I couldn't hear. I can't hear. What'd you say?
Ask him, once he's given his whatever ball earth answer to this, ask him, did he know about this Jenna Frodo evidence beforehand? Because it shows the bottom of the buildings that he claims can't be seen.
This is impossible. According to you,
hold on, dude. Hold on. Where is the top picture taken from?
I think it's 30 miles away.
Okay, if there's an issue, play the Jenna Frodo video where she stood at the waterside.
Oh, this is the video, Riley. I'll play. This is the whole video. I'll play it.
Just show it. Just do the bit where she pans down and shows her feet.
Yeah, I mean, I showed him last time, but it didn't.
I understand.
Because I suspect Curve did know about this evidence, and he was simply arguing from a position of incredulity.
Riley, you're wrong. I'm very familiar with this. I've got comments on the video, you moron.
Look at it.
Quit talking out of school.
Well, you claim that you can't see the bottom of the buildings, but you clearly can.
Dude. Okay.
That's the thing about the globe, the globes and the curves. They get really offended and name calling, man.
Riley, Riley, show me the bottom of the buildings.
He was just about to show you where hang on. The first question was, where was this picture taken from?
Show me the bottom of the buildings in this picture. This picture is not taken from where Jenna was that time.
Okay. So where was this?
Where's the bottom of the buildings in this? Where is the majority of the skyline?
Please watch it. It's showing you where she is. Watch.
Yeah. If Riley gives you an open drink, do not drink it.
Dude,
but they got low tides and high tides. You can't be just taking photos. It's got high tides, low tides. High tides, low tides. You know, did you take that picture when there's a high tide or a low tide? You know, you got to put all of that other elements into it. It's not just go out there and snap island. Stop taking the pictures, yo. That's the thing. We got to stop using the camera's eyes, yo, and the telescopes, because it's not original perspection.
Genius, Carl.
I'm not a genius.
That's evident. I was being sarcastic.
While we get into a little barrage of ad hominem attacks, I'm going to do a few quick links. So if you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a link to the Super Chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And most importantly, if you would like to join the debate and express your views on the shape of the Earth, there is a link in the info box below this video. There are only a couple of rules. Number 1, please do not swear. And number 2, do not try to rejoin the Hangout if you are ejected for exactly that. With that, I'm going to pass back to the action and say once more, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
All right, Free.
Significant enough to cause
your picture show like right here, right?
Yeah, but hang on. If let's just say that Curved is correct, that the Earth is actually a ball, how would this be explained evidentially? Yes, I know refraction is the explanation, but how would you prove that it is refraction that we're seeing?
By the fact that you can only see this when you get the anomalous conditions that give you this much refraction. This is not a normal everyday occurrence.
Refraction is irrelevant when you're in the same medium.
You cannot.
He's not in the
You
pool
don't
looking outside the
understand that.
pool.
You don't understand that. There's
Well, hang on. So what you're saying is that it's like the illusion it appears to be flat, but actually it's curved, and it's because of refraction. Yeah.
refraction will have the tendency to allow you to see things that you otherwise would not see. That will allow you. Yeah, it will give the appearance that it's flatter.
That's just like the fisheye lens. That's just like
raised the whole
fish
city
lens.
400 feet.
Gonna give you appearance of things that you shouldn't see.
Hang on. Would you agree that refraction as an explanation is still subject to the proof of curvature? Even though it's explanation, it's still subject to proof.
Hang on. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I need to pull up another video here so that Free can understand.
Well, while you do, we've been joined by... Sorry to
Does
interrupt,
anybody
guys.
even know like the resolution that
Sorry
we
to
even
interrupt.
see
Can
with
I
our own eyes?
Just say this one thing. We've been joined by Peanuts Clark. Can you just say a quick hello to Peanuts? Pleased to have you here, my friend.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's up, Peanuts?
Good to have you here. Thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that this observation was from 30 miles away. Was that right? Did I see that before correctly? Can someone just confirm?
30.84 miles away.
Okay, so 30 miles. I've also got an observation
6
at
feet
30
above.
miles away, and it shows the exact same thing. You can see the bottom of the. Basically, it's done at night time, but we can see the bottom of stuff that we shouldn't be able to see.
I think it's supposed to be
Totally without any refraction. At night time,
it's supposed to be 400 feet. 400 feet of blockage.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would say that what's going on in the other image is there's some atmospheric going on, or was there any of that atmospheric banding refracted stuff that we see? Like a mirage.
Just the angle of the camera. It's the angle of the camera. That's how he got his picture.
Angle of the camera.
It looks like he's like on like a boat trying to be loaded or something like that. Like weird angles, not even like a straight shot. Why is it tilted?
I've seen that many times. I was in the Navy. I've seen that plenty of times, man.
I'm a truck driver. I see flat stuff all the time out here, man. Like I'm looking at mountains, observing stuff every day, stars, all of that.
I've seen ships 20 miles away from 15
when you're looking
feet
at
on the smoke deck, 15 feet above the sea level, 20 miles away.
I see the bases of mountains, and it's like a flat plane. And then as you get into the mountain, you start climbing up. You know, that's what I see. Things like that in the distance.
I've never heard ball earthers account for wave obstruction when they talk about this so-called curvature and seeing like these buildings over a distance. They always say, "Oh, why can't you see the bottom?" But then they don't account for the obstruction of waves over distance. Like,
correct.
That's because of geometry, Adam.
Like to play
one of the most mundane. Like you're supposed to be intellectuals, like that.
Because of geometry, Adam.
Act like intellectuals, but yet you're so intellectually dishonest when you don't even account for waves over distance. That's the one thing you always just ignore. You always ignore it every time it's brought up.
They also ignore angular resolution as well.
Adam, account for the waves over distance mathematically. Go ahead and show me the effect that waves over distance should have.
I've been on several flat Earth shows where they've brought up videos.
Adam, can you do that?
Well,
Adam,
I'm on a phone.
can you do that?
It's hard for me to bring up videos. I'm on a phone, so it's hard for
me
to
Well,
bring up.
you could still explain. You could still explain, Adam.
Well, it's the application of the inverse.
You could take a shot at backing up your dirt, man. You could take a shot at it, but you just blurt out things.
So a wave
without any evidence, without any explanation.
10 meters away from me would obstruct something that's 20 meters away from me.
All right, now look at this picture of Toronto.
Continually add that into your equation.
Where is this guy? Niagara on the Lake. Is that not where Jenna Fredo was? Niagara on the Lake, Fort Niagara. They're both right there together. Are they? Is she not? Now, where's the Rogers Center? You see the CN Tower there. See how much of this can see in this shot?
Yeah.
What you can see in other shots. Look how much you're missing. You realize the top of the Rogers Center, that dome is like 300 feet above the level of the lake.
Yeah, but hang on.
Where is it, Riley?
Let's compare.
But you got to understand, people. There's other places that got it's mountainous areas. Like New York is on like a mountainous island. It's like places that's got hills and hillies and curvies.
We're over here west of Buffalo at Niagara on the Lake, Ontario. We're looking at Canada, at Toronto. Don't talk to me about New York City and all this kind of stuff. Whatever you bring.
My geography.
We're talking about the
Hang on.
geography of where the photographer is. Okay, don't be bringing in irrelevant stuff like that. Now, where is the Rogers Center?
Okay.
Allow
Where
me,
is the
my friend.
Rogers Center?
Allow me to speak. Let me get a word in here. The Rogers Center. Let's compare the picture. That's what you said. Let's compare the picture. Do we see any differences in this picture compared to the previous picture with regards to the rest of the horizon?
Yes.
What else do we see in the image evidenced? We see that horizon, like mirage, blocky thing that stops you from seeing behind it. Do we all agree that there's something above the hard horizon that's making the buildings look like they're floating?
Yes, that's what I was about to say. You can look right there behind the center.
Yes.
The CNN center, and you see right there that is
And
a little
what is
building
that
that looks
band?
like it's floating.
What is
that band? And that band that's going across the horizon obscures what we can see. We don't know how big it is. We just know that it's there because we can see buildings floating. The Rogers Center is within that band.
It's below the water.
No, it's not, because Jenna Frodo's video shows it's not.
It's Jenna Fredo. Okay,
Well,
she's
whatever.
not a character from Lord of the Rings.
It doesn't matter. We don't appeal to authority anyway, so it doesn't really matter the name or whatever.
Well, where's the fraction? Where's the fraction of the curve in that picture then?
Exactly.
It's evidenced by the obstruction. You have you have over 300 feet obstructed in this view from the same place that he is showing the Rogers Center when she caught the big refraction. This is more typical. This is
Sounds
just
like a one-dimensional curve.
This is a random video that I've never seen before right now. I just pulled it up because there are multiple views of Toronto from Niagara-on-the-Lake, from Hamilton, from around 30 miles away. And they tend to show something much more like this than that one image, that one day that Jenna caught that big refraction and got all of that light, distortion and everything. And that image, look at the CN Tower in here versus what you're seeing in Jenna's video, where there is all kinds of refraction going on, shimmering.
And that is just not.
It's extremely distorted.
There's supposed to be 486 feet of curvature blocking that building. Is that what we see right here?
And it should be like 360 degrees. It shouldn't be one-dimensional.
With or without refraction. And 486 feet is dependent upon viewer height. We don't have that information
6 feet.
here.
I typed it all in, bro. 6 feet.
Where did you get the viewer height for the video, the image that I'm showing?
Well, then, can we use the other one where we've got the actual video of her with her feet?
I'm comparing it to this one, showing you that what she is showing there is not.
It looks the same, just the weather's different.
No, it doesn't look the same. How can you say that? Where is
looks about
the Rogers Center?
I agree with you. It looks the same.
Where is the Rogers Center?
Looks like the Rogers Center isn't the
No, you guys, no, you can't substantiate that, Riley. You know that's a crock.
Okay, well let's do a comparison, right? Nathan, would you share my screen?
And
I'll show. And I'll show the bit that I was going to try and show in the last hangout with Jeremy.
Yeah, go ahead. Your screen shared.
What you're showing is not typical.
Just Nathan, just keep it on so that it doesn't flick over whilst it's being spoken over. Right. This is an observation that I've done. For those of you that don't know me, I did this with Ranty Rant a few months ago. And basically, let me zoom out here so that it can be seen. Basically, we're looking at Blackpool Tower from 30 miles away, and we're looking straight over water. But instead of doing it during the day, where you get all this atmospheric stuff, we did it at nighttime because Blackpool Tower is illuminated. Now, what's interesting is doing it at nighttime, we got this photograph. Oh, hang on. Let me pull that up here. Now, the ballers hate this because they claim it's inconclusive.
We don't see it. You haven't screen shared yet.
I just see a beat-up old Range Rover.
Hang on. Let me share my screen.
Hey, Riley, have you gotten enough money together to get some new windshield washer fluid?
Yeah, it's all sorted.
I hate seeing you running around all low on that.
Thanks for your concern. It's all sorted. Screen wash is sorted.
Very good.
Okay, so let me pull this up and make my point because I didn't realize I wasn't sharing. We're looking at in exactly like Jennifer Odo's. We're looking at 30 miles away, and we're looking straight over tidal sea. Okay. Now the argument is that refraction gets in the way and atmospheric blocks stuff, and they kind of cancel each other out to some degree because they say it's curvature, we say it's atmospheric, and essentially we can't really prove it either way. But we did this observation at nighttime to see if we could see the tower because it's illuminated. Here's the tower from 30 miles away, and if I zoom in a little bit, the ballers argue that the evidence is inconclusive because we have on one side the tower, we have two dots, we have what is the roller coaster, and we have this glitter ball, which was hotly debated. Okay. Now, what we're supposed to see at this distance is this. Where's it gone? I'm looking for. It's been a while. There we go. This is what we're supposed to see according to Mick West's magic refraction stuff. Oops. We're meant to see that. So that's all we're supposed to.
There's nothing magic about refraction. How dare you?
Well, it's at least illusionary because it doesn't appear to be there.
No, it's a variable, and yet you just saw clear evidence that refraction occurs.
No, hang on. Wait.
Look at the difference in the view of Toronto from the same place, Niagara, same distance. Look at the variables.
Hang on, I've not finished presenting.
Different.
Hang on, I've not finished presenting yet. You can come back to me in a sec. This is all that we should see of the Blackpool Tower, but when we actually go there, this is what we see. So there's the whole tower. Now, what I'm going to do with you to put this into perspective for those of you that are not familiar, I will. Oops, that's a zoomed-in picture. I will show you the shoreline, basically kind of similar to what the picture shows, just so that you can see it. I'll emphasize the buildings so that you can see it. Get down to about 400 feet or so, and then flick up to the horizon, and then you should see the features that are in the evidence here in the thing. All right, so basically, this is the line of sight that we're on, and we're looking at the tower in the background. There's the roller coaster. In fact, I'll drop it down because it makes it a little bit more to scale and similar rather than distorted. So, oops, I'll have to get in a little bit, get down a bit. Bear with me a sec while I get there. Goes down to about that far, and then it flicks into stupid view. So, all right, so this is the line of sight that we're on. Okay, there's the tower in the background. There's the roller coaster in the foreground. And if I zoom into the line of sight, this thing here is called the adrenaline rush. And it's either this post on this post or maybe this post. But in any event, these dots that are here is evidenced in these two dots here. So don't forget, Magic Mix said that the horizon is supposed to be up here somewhere, but we're seeing all down here. So these are like 100 feet tall. This is the roller coaster.
How do you know that's what those are?
Because we've done well, I'm showing you here. Look, this is the line of sight that we're on here, and there's the roller coaster to the right. There's the two dots just to the right of the tower, and if we go back a little bit further, you can, and we're still on that same line of sight. The mirror ball, which is along here somewhere. And let me just pick it out because it's that small, but it's that close to there's the mirror ball there. This ball. So if we go back to the line of sight over here, in relation to there's the mirror ball, there's the roller coaster, and then when we go back to the image, oops, and then zoom in a little bit, I'll put the tower so that the tower's on the far left, and then it's a little bit further more.
What's that red light at the bottom of the tower? Near the
that is something called the Love Heart. I'll show you that in a sec. So there's the tower far left, there's the two adrenaline rush balls, there's the roller coaster, and there's the mirror ball. Now, I'll show you the light that's on the tower. Zoom right in. The light on the tower it's called the Love Heart, and if I can spin it around a little bit, I don't know actually if it's on here. There it is. There's the Love Heart, but it's daytime, it's not illuminated. But if we're seeing right the way down to this point here, I mean, at least to this point here, but we know that we're also seeing the lights that are on the pier, on which, not that one.
Can I take a moment to thank you for this, Riley? Because up to this point, I've never seen enough of this to know what I'm looking at. And now I know that you just showed that you're not seeing down to the ground.
Hang on. What we're supposed to be seeing, according to your maths, is...
That varies, Riley. You know that. That varies.
Hang on.
So
yeah, but the
you're showing me what should not vary is being able to see down to the ground, dude.
Yeah, but hang on.
As you claim. You're making false claims.
No, I'm showing evidence that's contrary to the opinion.
So I appreciate that.
That is all we should see. So your argument has to be refraction.
No.
My argument is evidence. So
dude, refraction happens. Refraction happens.
Yeah, but it only happens when there's a change in medium.
You and I and
Snell's law doesn't apply.
A change in refractive index is an effective change in medium. You know that.
Yeah, but there isn't a change in refractive index, is there? Because we're at the same terrestrial position.
Yes.
No, there's not.
Yes.
No, there
isn't. Due to the curvature. Yes, dude. Yes. It's
due
there.
To the curvature.
It's evidenced.
That's
evidenced. It's evidenced.
No, it's not evidence.
You don't understand how it works. It's that simple.
No, I understand. It's based on a 7/6 of the radius calculation of the circumference of the Earth.
I apologize. I shouldn't have interrupted. Keep debunking yourself. I'll remain silent and let you just go ahead and hang yourself.
How did you get Midwest on your hangout? Did you promise him a threesome?
Hang on.
Kansas so flat then?
Hang on a sec. Hang on. Let me deal with the refraction. According to Magic Maths, standard refraction is based on 7/6 of the radius of the Earth. All right. And then underneath he says standard refraction is an approximation of the refraction expected under standard atmospheric conditions. And when you click the link, it don't talk about 7/6 of the circumference of the Earth. It talks about the continue. Here we go.
Snell's law, right? Isn't that Snell's law?
No, it doesn't even talk about Snell's. It doesn't even apply. This is why this is a problem, because in the explanation for, I need to actually go to the link. Give me a sec while I pull up the link, because I can't remember where I had it. So give me a sec.
While you do that, I'm going to do a quick link to the audience, if you don't mind. So I'll put the camera on me.
Let me know when you're done.
You'll hear me. So if you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And if, more importantly than anything else, you would like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. Simply mute the page you are currently watching and click on that link to debate anybody who is currently on the panel with your views on the shape of the Earth. There are only a couple of rules. Number one, please do not swear. If you do swear, you will be ejected, and please do not try to rejoin using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcomed back on the next show. If you're currently in the live audience, I'd encourage you to share the show on Facebook, Skype, and Twitter. That's pretty much me done. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, so just to conclude my point, and then you can come back to me. Standard refraction is based on 7/6 of the radius of the Earth, and he says it's based on the approximation of the refraction expected under standard atmospheric conditions. But when you click into this, the calculation is there you go. The ISA mathematical model divides the atmosphere into layers with an assumed linear distribution of absolute temperature against geopotential altitude. The other two values, P and D, or pressure and density, are computed by simultaneously solving the equations. Okay, vertical pressure variation and an ideal gas law in molar form. But it doesn't mention anything about 7/6 of the radius of the Earth. And also, it doesn't mention anything about the application of Snell's law. Now, why is that?
It's a good question.
And then if you ever notice, though, like in somebody's picture, they got the sun and the setting and the whatever at the horizon. Why isn't like no curve in the sun?
Yeah, it shows a silhouette. No, it shows a silhouette. I think, yeah, the Chicago skyline, and it was a silhouette from the sun setting behind it. I forgot how far they were, but I mean, I don't think there's refraction on silhouettes. So
I hate to do this.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying like,
guys, sorry to do this.
Like when you see the sun at the horizon, you guys ever seen that, right? The sun coming right at the horizon.
Rather than there being a dramatic pause.
Sorry,
Kyle, I'm trying desperately to get a word in. So you've just railroaded Anthony's point. You know, rather than there being a short pause and then it being addressed, you've just changed the subject entirely. So, you know, no disrespect, I'm sure you want to get your points in, but literally he's struggled his way to get through to the end of his point. He's got to the end, and then it's almost like it's been completely ignored.
Yeah, so let's get Curve to answer, because Curve is the one that's asserting that standard refraction is a thing. I've just shown you that it's based on a 7/6 of the radius calculation, but it's based on the standard atmospheric conditions, which don't account for a 7/6 of the radius of the Earth, but also don't account for the application of Snell's law. But you guys include Snell's law. So why is that?
How do you think the calculation is done, Riley?
Well, it shows you in here. If you read what it says the ISA mathematical model divides the atmosphere into layers with an assumed, that's a keyword, linear distribution of absolute temperature against geopotential altitude. The other two values, pressure and density, are computed by simultaneously solving the equations resulting from the vertical pressure variation and the ideal gas law. Doesn't mention Snell's law, and nowhere in this article is Snell's law mentioned. So my question is, why would you go into Snell's law when it's not based on this, which is what it's supposed to be, the standard atmospheric conditions? And why does the standard atmospheric conditions not mention 7/6 of the radius of the Earth when it talks about the continuous simultaneous solving of the equation? It doesn't mention this at all. So this is bunkum, unless you can explain for why it should be there. And also, why is Snell's law not in the explanation for standard atmospheric conditions, of which this is based on?
The only way I can answer that question is just tell you, to my understanding, by using a 7/6 value for the radius when they calculate it, that's how it incorporates what they call, the values for standard refraction. It doesn't need to be specified in there to your satisfaction to explain to you when they're talking to people that know how to do what they're doing.
So your position is it doesn't need to be in here, but we can add it anyway.
No. I'm just saying that 7/6 radius, calculating that, is the way that they incorporate it.
Right, but
that's my understanding, and I'm not an expert in this, and I'm just saying, just because you don't understand what you're reading doesn't make your claim and assertion true.
I understand it really quite well. Let me go through it again.
You really don't.
Do I need to go through it again? Because it's clear that this is based on the atmospheric conditions. And in the atmospheric conditions, there is no mention of 7/6 of the radius of the Earth. They're talking about the vertical pressure variation and the ideal gas law. And it's the continuous solving of the equations.
And so I'm telling you that 7/6 radius is the way that they incorporate it. That's what the surveyors do. Why don't you ask Jesse Kozlowski about this? Okay.
Do you at least agree that in the explanation, it doesn't mention 7/6 of the radius when you look into the standard atmospheric conditions? Does not mention it anywhere.
And the value of that is?
Okay, so let's just say that you're just adding something that's not already there, but we'll give you it just so we can move on. Can you tell me why Snell's law is accounted for when it isn't accounted for in that article either? There's no mention of Snell's law in here.
Is that not the application of Snell's law?
No, this is what this is
sure?
actually.
It is.
No, it's not.
Sure?
No. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure because I can show you what this is showing you.
Because it doesn't say, and this is how we apply Snell's law.
No, because it would say Snell's law because it's known as Snell's law.
That's an assumption on your part because you're a simpleton. No. A very dishonest simpleton.
Do you understand what a simultaneous solving of an equation gives you?
Oh, God. Riley.
Answer the question.
Do you realize that solving simultaneous equations is standard practice in engineering?
It's the continuous solving of an equation, not a one-off occasion. It's the continuous. What does that tell you about what you're going to be looking at?
What are you talking about continuous?
Right.
I'm talking about solving for simultaneous equations.
Are you familiar with
engineering mathematics? Do you know what a simultaneous equations are? Solving for them.
Right, Brendan, at the minute I'm talking with Curved and I'm asking him specifically, does he know what the continuous solving of an equation gives you when you're looking at the horizon of something in this instance?
I'm not dealing with continuous solving. Simultaneous is not continuous. Continuous implies
it's the continuous solving.
You keep on doing.
So what's the end then? What's making the equation end?
There is no end to it. It's the variation of the vertical pressure variation with the.
I know there's no end. That's what I want him to say. That what's making the end? Because you're putting the variable in. Without the variable, that's the only thing that makes it end.
Because if it was the continuous solving of the equation, according to what he says, which is the 7/6, that would mean that we would see the building in the background shrinking and stretching.
7/6 is a standard approximation.
Yeah, but it's based on the atmospheric conditions here because it says it is. Now, if you do the continuous solving of the equation that's here, what that means is that the building that you're looking at should be falling behind the curve of the Earth, bringing back up, falling behind the curve of the Earth, bringing back up. But that's not what we see, is it?
It does when the conditions change.
Yeah, but no.
Changing conditions cause exactly that appearance, up and down.
Let's go with the skunk bay footage and let's see what actually we see when we see over a time lapse, because it's the only example that I know where there's time lapse done of distance observations. I don't think during.
So he's trying to say that during the time of the observation, it's going to grow a hump and it's going to curve.
That's what the continuous
fraction's going to a fraction's going to appear. That's what he's saying.
Well, that's what
curve.
That's what that mathematics is saying. Yes.
Over time with changing conditions, yes, the appearance changes.
Okay, so let's see.
So what is over time? How long is over time going to take, though?
It depends on how long it takes for the conditions to change significantly, and the appearance will change in accordance with the degree of change.
Let's show an example where we've got time lapse of a horizon and see what the effect of it actually is, because we can see this. There we go. This is it here.
Can you close the ad and make it full screen, please?
I'm on it. Is that okay? Can you see that?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so we're at 9 a.m. in the morning. There's not a lot of atmospherics going on. You can just see a little bit of a shimmer beginning to come in. As we get up towards midday, we're getting to say nearly 10 o'clock now, and you're beginning to see the continuous solving of that pressure and the air density equation that we were just talking about. This is what we're actually seeing, and it shimmers. Now, notice this background.
The mountain in the background, is it breathing?
Now, is it falling behind the curve of the Earth?
Is it breathing?
Hang on.
Is it breathing? The top of it seems to be going up and down. It's like it's undulating or something. Is that Gaia breathing?
Is it stretching and shrinking, or is it falling behind the curve and coming back up again?
Going up and down. You can see it. It's not falling behind the curve. You can see it. That's not the claim. Don't be a moron.
No, but the claim is
I'm talking about it going up and down, just like we claim. You've got tides going on here.
No, you're misunderstanding the point. Let's go back to the point because you've missed it. Let's go back to this.
No, I haven't missed anything, Riley. You're missing it all.
No. It says it's the continuous. The other two pressure values are computed by simultaneously solving the equations from the vertical pressure variation and the ideal gas law. Okay, doesn't talk about.
Where's continuous? Where's continuous? What's your point with continuous? Or did you just misunderstand simultaneous?
It doesn't.
Do you know what simultaneously means?
At the same time.
Okay, then why are you
continuous? Because you can't measure the distance from where you are to the horizon. That's
Shut
what
up,
the continuous is about.
It doesn't say
Shut
continuous.
up. That's stupid. You're way out.
Well, let me see you measure the horizon.
You're way out. That has nothing to do with what they're talking about.
Right. What the issue is?
It doesn't say continuous. Where does it?
That's like trying to measure a mirage.
Where does it say continuous?
It says the simultaneously computed by simultaneously solving equations.
Why don't you click on that link?
Which one? This one?
No.
Which one?
The simultaneous.
Yeah.
Simultaneously solving equations. That link.
Yeah. Simultaneously
equations. Simultaneous equations.
Right. So
nowhere does it say continuous.
Okay, so in that case, then you tell me what we're supposed to be doing here with with that phrase.
No, you tell us, Riley. This is your point, baby. Come on, do it.
You're seeing the evidence here. This is what it happened. This is what.
Okay.
This is what time lapse shows you. This is what the effect of the horizon does. Now, your position is that it falls behind the curve of the Earth. My position is that it stretches and shrinks, consistent with what the explanation shows you. Also, my position is that Snell's law doesn't apply because it doesn't say that it does, and that the 7/6 application of the radius of the Earth doesn't apply because it doesn't say it does.
Dude, do you not see physical objects on land moving up and down in the image?
Yeah, but they're stretching and shrinking like a continuous solving of the pressure variance.
And you see things moving. Do you think they're really moving, or do you think that's an illusion caused by the refraction?
Now
come on, genius.
It's the second one, obviously, but caused by the refraction is what's happening. Is it the stretching and shrinking, the vertical variation, or are you trying to tell me that that's going further away from us and dropping behind the curve of the Earth, just like the building, the mountain in the background? Come on,
you simpleton. It's an appearance,
right?
Based on the
conditions. Which answer is it though?
So you can't, yeah, exactly. You can't have it two ways.
If you don't know the answer I just gave, please refrain from asking such simple questions.
Right. So basically, your position is that the mountain in the background is falling behind the curve of the Earth and flicking back up again, right?
I never said that, Riley. No.
Well, in that case, you have to accept that it's refraction exactly the way we see it here, stretching and shrinking.
You're either dead or you're alive. There's no in between.
Yeah. So at 30 miles, and we know that that whole tower was meant to be obscured behind the curvature of the Earth, and we saw the whole thing. And you're saying that that's to do with refraction, but I'm saying that the effects of refraction are actually the distortion of what we see, not stretching behind the curve of the Earth. It's stretching and shrinking what we see, which is exactly what you're seeing evidenced here.
Which is what causes things to be able to become visible when they otherwise would not.
But the thing is, mine's consistent with the explanation given here.
No,
Yours
it's not.
isn't.
You don't understand any
Not
of the
that one.
words you just used. You're in no way consistent.
Well, put it this way. I understand that what's described there is not the same as what's shown here, because that's an arc mathematics. That's not mentioned.
Okay.
And Snell's law isn't mentioned neither.
Standard refraction of 7.6.
Why should it mention Snell's law? Like, why do you think it should mention Snell's law?
Because they cite Ball Earthers cite Snell's law for this apparent 7/6 of the curvature of the Earth.
Oh my God!
That's included in.
I just felt like people could have said that the Earth was the shape of a star, and everybody would have believed it.
No, only people that believe NASA. Only people like Brenda and Curved would believe it.
So it says the standard refraction of 7.6.
But yeah,
why do you make such stupid claims, Riley? I'm not on.
I don't think he doesn't know what he's talking about.
These are not my claims. These are your claims.
No,
Hang on,
why are you trying to link me with NASA, Riley? Why are you so desperate? You don't know a thing about me. You don't know my stance on NASA.
No, but what I do know
shit about NASA.
He knows flat earthers won't be able to understand that he doesn't know what he's talking about. So he just sits here and makes stuff up when he's trying to have threesomes.
You don't know what he's talking about.
You
don't know what he's talking about.
Because
right, no swearing. Right, I'm going to turn you all down and just say a quick hello to Free-Minded and Brenda, who's joined.
I'm smart with you now, bro.
Every time when a flat earther asks something, he's not making sense or he's ridiculed, though.
No, he started moonwalking.
We just on a need-to-know basis.
Ridiculed because he's trying to have threesomes with Karen P, and he's not really a flat earther, and he's sitting here making up science. He doesn't know.
We on a need-to-know basis. That's all.
So now that we've gone into
flat all the day.
Now that we've gone into ad hom attacks, that basically means that you've both conceded.
That's not ad hom, Riley. Yeah, you tried to have a threesome, and you're not a real like. How is that an ad hom? So you're not genuine.
Because it's dropped down.
You're just trying to have sexual threesomes in the flat earth community. You're not trying to like.
What does that have to do with what we're talking about? What does that have to do?
Because he's making up science. He's making up science, and the only reason you're not calling him out on it is
he actually
flat
explained
earther.
He actually explained that really good. He actually
he didn't. A4. He's saying this shit about Snell's law. He doesn't understand Snell's law.
He actually did. If you put what he
no
said
shit, it doesn't apply. Then what you're saying it should apply. You're like, why aren't they citing Snell's law?
No, they do cite Snell's law. That's the problem. Snell's
in
law.
The wicked. You just said they didn't.
These refraction conditions are making things shrink and then
stretch.
Get large. The stretch. They can also be computed into the other images that we've seen. You know, so exactly. Like when they're actually showing the footage of these buildings that apparently are obstructed, well, they're not adding the fact that they
Snell's law is when they change when light goes through different mediums, like glass.
So I understand what he's trying to say. I understand completely.
That's Snell's law. What does that have to do with what he's talking about? He's not making fucking sense.
Take that out. He's saying take that out because it's a.
It has nothing to do with the atmosphere. What the fuck? That's what I'm saying. God damn it, you people are stupid.
How many
times? That's how they get mad when. That's how they get mad when they know like the flat earth is like cracking their head. They get so offended.
I'm fucking always mad.
With
how many people fucking P Mars, dude? I'm like 100% mad.
Like I understand what it feels like to be lied to, man. You don't gotta be upset about it, yo. Like you think I wasn't believing that we was on the spinning ball?
Being lied to? Are you kidding me? They've like brainwashed every human on this fucking planet. I shouldn't be upset. Excuse my French.
Because I don't like to be lied to. That's just my personality. I don't know about yours. I just don't like to be. I just don't like to be lied to.
He got
as I say, if you get that mad, if you get in that mad, man, then you shouldn't even try to be in the debate because you can't even just keep your composure. You know, like I said, I remember when I first saw a flat video, and I was like, man, whatever, man. I was like, I never looked at it.
He's gone, dude. He's gone. That guy's gone, man.
So
yeah, Riley.
Yeah.
Riley struck a nerve.
Exactly what you're saying. Carl, yeah, he's good.
They don't answer like a simple question, though. You know, it's like that's what I want to hear.
Hey, hold on.
So it's easy to answer.
Let Brenda answer.
So the answer is that Snell's law is already in the calculation that Riley showed. where it's
No, it isn't.
taken as 7.6. Yeah, it is.
It is.
He showed
No,
the
it isn't.
code.
It is. Snell's law is incorporated into the 7.6, but it shouldn't be.
Yes.
That's the
What?
point.
Why shouldn't it be?
Because it does. Because, like I said, I don't know if you were here when I showed it, but
That was
basically,
it. That was the whole point of the argument.
yeah. Let me go.
So,
That's pretty funny.
Before you denied it was in there, now you're accepting that it's in there.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I think you've misunderstood or
No, I heard
Riley's
before.
backpedaling again.
You denied expressly that Snell's law was included in the calculation, and now you're asserting that it is.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Let me reassert my position for you.
Curved originally said that Snell's law was included as an assumption in the calculation that you were pointing to. Right there, with standard refraction of 7.6 times r.
So can I reassert my position for you, Brenda?
Go ahead.
You're not going to go through this again, are you?
Well, Brenda's
Don't say anything
misrepresenting
that you're going to deny saying too. Okay.
Standard
Make sure that you're going to
refraction.
say things that you're going to stand behind and not deny saying. Appreciate
Right,
it.
I will do if you cite me correctly when I say something.
I mean, we all recorded. You can go back and hear it. I mean, that's.
I said that standard refraction.
Sorry to interrupt once more. We've been joined by
based on 7/6 of the radius of the Earth. But
yeah, that's Snell's law.
Right, but
that's what Snell's law is standard refraction.
I agree. But underneath he says standard refraction is an approximation of the refraction expected under standard atmospheric conditions. And when you go into that, there is no mention of arc mathematics, Snell's law, anything. It's talking about the continuous variation or the simultaneous solving of equations resulting from the vertical pressure variation and the ideal gas law.
Because Snell's law has to do with the light passing through different mediums. If it's in the atmosphere, it's in the same medium, genius. God, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I've already ejected you once.
Exactly. He doesn't even realize that he's just contradicted this position.
No.
These two paragraphs are contradictory. One of them is based on art mathematics and the application of Snell's law, which would be this one, and the other one is not. Yet they both appear on the actual calculation. So really, if we're not going to be applying Snell's law now, because for the last 2 years, ball earthers have been applying Snell's law, we can do away with all this.
You're just lying.
Hey, can we get away from the sideshow here a little bit for a minute? Riley, does refraction occur? Yes or no?
Before you answer that, can I just say hello to Pete? We've been joined by Pete's Southend, is it? Could you just say a quick hello?
That was P. Mars, and you booted him.
Oh, was it? Oh, my apologies. Sorry, as you were.
This is refraction. So the answer to your question is yes, refraction applies, and this is what you're looking at refraction right now.
And does refraction affect how much of something you can see beyond a horizon or any kind of obstruction?
No. It's simply
it doesn't. It doesn't affect how much you can see.
No, not at all. It affects what is on display, but it doesn't allow you to see further.
It doesn't.
Then why do we have two images of Toronto from Niagara on the lake? One that is extremely distorted, and you can see the Rogers Center, and then yet under other conditions, you have the same view across the lake, basically where at least 300 feet is hidden. At least 300 feet is hidden
because you're looking at one frame in a day of continuous refraction.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
continuous refraction. There's no such thing. What are you talking about?
I just showed you.
You're telling me refraction doesn't.
He showed you in a time lapse. He showed you in a time lapse what occurs over a whole day, and you're taking one picture and saying, "Oh, look, 300 feet is."
I'm taking two pictures and comparing.
300 feet is obstructed because
I'm
this
taking two pictures of the same thing from the same place and comparing them.
No, what
I
you've
didn't
done
see
is
any
you're using
obstruction
a
at
picture
all.
that's taking one frame out of a whole day, and then and because it suits your narrative, you're trying to say that that's 300 feet of obstruction, but it's not. It's just a point where the refraction is most potent.
I didn't see any obstruction. I didn't see any obstruction in the clip.
In this one, in the time lapse, I was watching it the whole time.
I didn't see any obstruction. I didn't see any obstruction.
I see the mountain in the background, or whatever is in the background. I see it rising, and then
yeah, it's compressing. It's compressing and expanding. But
I didn't. And then the thing about all of this that everybody fails to realize that cameras have different resolutions, and this is all taken out of camera lenses, not the human perspective.
In the Ontario,
nothing is
the same concept of this. of this compressing and then expanding and then compressing. Use that in the Ontario pictures, and White is doing that. White is being unbiased.
Well,
Can I share my screen again? Can I share my screen again?
Expanding
Simple point.
make things disappear.
It's a simple point. Honest people.
Are y'all seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Are y'all seeing
we
my
see
screen?
it. Yeah, we see
Okay.
it.
Can you make it full screen though,
explain
please?
this.
Can you just make it big? There you go. Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah. I think we've been doing that the entire show.
So how much refraction is in this picture?
Where's that picture taken from?
Fuck.
It's the same distance.
Where is it taken from?
Prove that. Prove that. Same distance. Prove that that's the same distance. That's
well. It looks like it looks like roughly the same.
No. I don't really care about your opinion. What you made a statement that these two pictures are taken from the same distance. Show me that the bottom.
It's on the same video.
What is the source? What is the source of that? What is the source of the bottom?
This is the Rogers. This is what's the name? What is her name again?
Jenna Fredo. She's
Fredo, right?
Jenna Fredo. Now, where? Yeah. What's the source of the bottom photograph that she's using for comparison?
What do you mean?
And you can also see in that image that you're seeing different amounts of the city. The CN Tower looks significantly different due to distortion and things like that. Look at that. Look at the proportions.
Is there 486 feet of curvature blocking the buildings?
Look at the proportions of that. You're not always going to have that.
Feet.
You're not always going to have that. I already pulled up a video from the same location that shows you over 300 feet of obstruction.
Just so you guys know, we have about 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Sorry to interrupt. Just so you know,
300 feet.
Just so you know, we have about 5 minutes left on this broadcast.
What are you going to attribute it to?
If you are using,
what are you going to attribute it to, Adam?
Just the top picture. If we're using
Stay on point, Adam.
Yeah,
stay on point, Adam.
Yeah, I am. Just wait. If we're using just the top picture and then the picture that you used as a comparison, all right, well, why can't you account for the 300 feet of obstruction due to refraction?
You have to account for it.
Well, it doesn't seem like you are. You're saying that it's due to the curvature, but it's not due to the curvature. It's due to refraction.
Well, account for this.
We just seen it. We just seen in that time-lapse video that Ryan was showing that it's
where's the Rogers Center in this video? Where is the Rogers Center? This is from Niagara, where that photo that Free-Minded is showing. You going to tell me these look the same? You see the same thing in this as you see on Free-Minded?
They're all just photos. Of course, they're not going to look the same.
Why?
I'm actually just,
why not?
Because they're different cameras and different photos. Different cameras and different photos.
That's
I'm dismissing the bottom picture, like you said, because
it doesn't matter. It's the resolution.
You don't know what you're talking
We don't know the source of the bottom picture in this photo that we're seeing. In this photo that we're seeing, we don't know the source of it. So I'm
like cameras is like not a good observation for this thing.
Just the picture that you showed earlier. And I'm saying, and you're saying that the 300 feet. So then in your picture, we can't see that dome thing that's there. That's to the left of that tower. All right. In the picture that you showed. And I'm saying, well, if they're at the same distance, practically, they're on the same beach and whatnot, viewing that.
In case you didn't hear my plug over the top of the other guys, there is about 4 minutes left on this broadcast. So if you did want to join to do some last minute trolling, now is your opportunity. I'll run through my plugs and then I will come back once more just to thank the audience. So if you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. And if you would like to join the debate, click on the link in the info box below this video to join the debate and express your views on the shape of the Earth. As PMARS just found out, there is only 1 or 2 rules. Please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected, but you will be warmly welcome back on the next show. So please do not try to rejoin using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcome back. Once again, if you've not shared the show already, please do so and leave a like once the video has rendered. I'll pass you back for a couple more minutes of debate, and then, as I say, I'll thank you all for joining us in a couple of minutes' time.
Compare these two images and see. Yes, refraction is real. Refraction occurs. Refraction alters your view of the city skyline. How much is visible?
But not that much. Not that much.
What do you mean? Not that? It's
insignificant.
It's capable.
If you're in the same medium,
dude, it's capable of altering it about this much.
I think it's flat Earth 100%, man.
Well, of course you do. And that's a fantastic argument. You think it's
I just
flat
can't really
Earth,
see
man.
how it's 100% argument with it. That it's
but
different.
dude, but if you understood how little you knew, you would realize how invaluable your opinion is. You are very
okay. I understand, but the little that I know is what killing me. That's the thing. It's the little that I know. Just imagine if I know more.
You know enough right now to be a danger to yourself with this. That's it. That's it. You know how to confuse yourself. Now look
Kurt
at
Water,
those,
you just know how to dance, man.
Look at those two.
You just know how to
images.
dance.
I'm not dancing. You're the
All
one.
you can say is
everything.
by a lot. Your scientific answer is by a lot. You can't even give no numbers.
You can't give a number for anything. You can't give a number. You can't give a definition. You can't give an explanation. You can't cite a evidence.
He can't even say why he believes what he believes.
It doesn't matter what he
why
believes.
he believes what he believes. So
look at the difference in these two pictures that you're claiming were from the same place.
Because I used to believe what you believe, though. That's why.
Look at the bottom. Look at the bottom. And why can't you at the top? The top shows a different amount of the city than the bottom.
That could be a little bit of refraction. I don't know, but it's supposed to be 486 feet.
Okay,
block.
great. Well, then I'm going to take your opinion because
It's
I
not
don't know.
486.
I don't know. Wow.
Listen, idiot. Hey, it's not 486
What an excellent
feet.
argument that is. I don't know. It could be this. It could be that.
So,
I don't know.
Well, Curved, how can you say
What's your source for the bottom image that you claimed was from the same distance?
God, you really sound dumb.
What's your source for the bottom image that you claimed was from the same distance?
So are you saying? I mean, compare the pictures. Compare the pictures.
Yet? I am comparing the pictures, and they're different.
Don't they look relatively about the same?
And with that, I am going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the audience who have joined us on this live broadcast. Been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much also to all of the panel for debating the shape of the Earth. Please feel free to click on the link in the next show. PMARs included, you will be warmly welcome back, as will everybody else, to express their views. Be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.